Hey everyone! So it has been a while since I've done my last update, mainly because time has just flown. So that's probably a good thing, because hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit of progress now when I show a little close-up. I'm currently on tray 17. I haven't got them in at the moment just because I wanted to hopefully be able to see the difference when I compare back from video 1 to this one. There's not really a lot to update on other than there's been a lot of movement. The bottom teeth are pretty much nearly there now. There's a big gap opening up over here, which is what we wanted to do so that we can put the implant in, and I should find out in September roughly when we'll be able to do the groundwork for the implant as well. I'm hoping before Christmas would be really nice, and then the plan is I continue wearing the Invisalign while that heals, and then by the time the Invisalign is done we can pop the implant in and everything will be finished. So yeah, I've had 2 lots of IPR, so the interproximal reduction, so that's basically the filing. The first lot I had was done on my bottom teeth. I found it wasn't painful, but I found it quite uncomfortable. I don't like the dentist anyway, so any kind of drilling or like it's filing, so there's a lot of vibrations. I don't really like that, but you're in good hands, so there's not really anything to worry about. What I did find really not nice on the bottom teeth was where there wasn't a lot of gaps, and they were trying to kind of file the little bit of metal that they used to file. They'd done it some by machine, some by hand. The ones they were doing by hand with a little bit of it's like foil they put in between your teeth and they file it. It just kept getting stuck because the teeth were so close. So it just freaked me out a little bit. I just didn't like it, but by doing that, it just takes off a tiny little bit of the enamel on each of the teeth that is barely noticeable, and it just gives the Invisalign the opportunity to be able to move the teeth to where they should go. The second lot of IPR that I had done was on my top teeth, and that was definitely a lot more visible. And I'll show in a second. So we had it done a couple of places, but the main one being in between the top 2 teeth. And for that, I was left with a definite gap. There was already a gap there anyway, where things had started to overlap. But after having the IPR, there was a definite gap there and here. That one's closed up, and I think the one in the middle is starting to close up as well. But yeah, everything's going really well. I would say I definitely still have my lisp when I've got my Invisalign in, which does make me really self-conscious still. I'm very aware that in meetings and when I'm doing any form of public speaking that people can hear my lisp, and I honestly I can't wait for the Invisalign to finish just for that. I'm still noticing that I'm not snacking much, so much of the same grumbles that I had in the last video are still the same grumbles now. I wouldn't say that it's like I don't really notice any pain. There's occasionally a tray that you get that catches against your tongue and it just grazes a little bit, but it's nothing that you don't get used to. I still find the next day after a new tray there's quite a few sensitivities, so trying to eat anything that's quite hard is probably, I would advise against it for the first day of a new tray, or first 2 days of a new tray maybe. So even things like sourdough bread. So I love sourdough bread, but because it's quite chewy, it can be a little bit of a pain to kind of get your teeth around it and actually bite down. So I would probably say it's good to just have some softer food options there for when you have changed into a new tray. I think the last thing that I really wanted to update on is the kind of the stains and the whitening aspect. I've tried a few different products. I don't know if you remember that I tried that, I think it's the Diamond White toothpaste that I showed in one of the videos before. I didn't really notice any difference with that at all. I think in terms of the staining and brightening of the teeth, if you're brushing your teeth minimum 3 times a day, you will notice your teeth probably look a lot cleaner and brighter anyway. But in terms of the toothpaste, I didn't notice that it done anything. I then started using the Listerine whitening mouthwash, and with that I definitely noticed where the teeth used to be overlapping. When they unoverlap, you get stains, and that Listerine mouthwash was really good at actually reducing those stains to almost nothing. But in terms of the whitening, I didn't notice it made my teeth any whiter. It just helped to remove the stain. So I would actually probably recommend using a whitening mouthwash just to help the removal of any of those minor stains that you're noticing as your teeth are shifting. I wanted to try a different one to see what it's like, so I got this one. I would actually say I probably prefer the Listerine one, but then that's probably because the Listerine one done most of the work, so I haven't really noticed this one's any better. But it could have been I used the Colgate one first, it could have reduced the stains. So I would probably say, yeah, it's worth giving the whitening mouthwash a go, just to get rid of those stains. So I'll just come in a little bit closer for the update on where the teeth are at the moment. So we can see, obviously I've still got my anchors in place. The bottom teeth, they're nearly there. This one's still a little bit set back. And then the top teeth, you can see the gap you got, but my teeth are much more central. So much more in the midline. There was a gap here after the last lot of IPR, but that's closed up. There's not really many gaps that you can see apart from over this side. So we're waiting for this one to close up, well, everything to still shift over this way, including that tooth. I can feel movement in the trays along the top back, so I can feel that they're being kind of pulled a little bit. And then obviously that's the size of the gap I've got now, which obviously it doesn't look nice to have that there, but it's needed. We need to create the space to put the implant in. But overall, I think the teeth are looking a lot better from a front-on position. They're looking a lot more central, they're looking a lot straighter. The one thing I'm noticing with this tooth here is it's getting better now, but it was angled down quite a lot. So there's a point right here was pointing down. So when I was eating, I was sometimes accidentally kind of grinding against the point of that top tooth. It's starting to straighten up a little bit now, but yeah, that was like, eat really carefully because I was just really worried that I was going to end up chipping that tooth. I still am worried, but hopefully it's starting to level itself up a little bit now. But yeah, I think progress is going well, and that's probably a reason why I haven't put out too many videos other than time going really, really quickly, is because there hasn't been a massive amount to update everyone and myself on. But hopefully by leaving it, I think the last update was on tray 8 and I'm now on tray 17, so hopefully by leaving it that long we can see a definite difference here. I'm hoping it is the end of July now, and I'm hoping by November everything will be kind of straight, and then I'll be moving on to refinement trays, and that's just something that I have to have a conversation with the orthodontist to see how many trays will be needed. But I'm really hoping by that point that we've popped the kind of the metalwork into the kind of the jaw gum area and letting that heal up over. Yeah, so I think that's it. Hopefully you found the update useful. If you are still following along, if you have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the comments, and until then, I'll see you next time. Thank you.